So tell me about your birthday party. Am I invited?
Yes. Yes, you're definitely invited. I invite you to all my parties. You just haven't seemed to show up.
Ellen DeGeneres, among many in Hollywood, has had her career wrecked with scandals and allegations. After the end of her show 2 years ago, Ellen is back in the spotlight, not for anything good. Her once friendly gesture with Sean Diddy, who is awaiting trial over serious charges, has forced the internet to remember their close bond, making her a prime suspect as an accomplice. Now the FBI has confirmed Ellen DeGeneres fled after Diddy's list is revealed. Could this mean that there are more issues behind the scenes? Join us in this video as we unravel the truth and why she is on the run. Before we dive in, let's meet Ellen before her major scandals. Early life of Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen Lee DeGeneres was born and raised in Metairie, Louisiana, to parents Elizabeth Jane Betty Nee Pfeffer, a speech therapist, and Elliot Everett DeGeneres, who worked as an insurance agent. She has a brother, Vance, who is a musician-producer. DeGeneres grew up in a household that practiced Christian Science. Her parents split up when she was a teenager in 1973 and eventually got divorced the next year. Her mother remarried after the divorce to a traveling salesman, Roy Grusendorf. Ellen and her mom moved from the New Orleans area to Atlanta, Texas, and Vance decided to stay with Dad. During her teenage years, Ellen faced a traumatic experience when she was subjected to inappropriate behavior by her stepfather. He misused her mother's recent diagnosis of breast cancer as a reason to touch Ellen in ways that made her uncomfortable, claiming he needed to check for any potential issues. This situation escalated to the point where he attempted to force entry into her room, which frightened Ellen and led her to leave home for her safety, spending a night at a hospital. Ellen finally told her mother years later, but Betty didn't believe her at first, and ended up staying married to Grusendorf for 18 more years. It wasn't until she noticed inconsistencies in her husband's stories regarding his treatment of Ellen that she began to understand that her daughter had been telling the truth. Grusendorf passed away in 1997. Ellen DeGeneres graduated from Atlanta High School in May 1976, but attended Grace King High School in Metairie for 9th grade. She graduated and went back to New Orleans to major in communication studies, but after only a semester, she dropped out to go and work at a law firm with her cousin Laura Gillen. DeGeneres worked a number of odd jobs growing up to pay the bills. She used to work at JCPenney and waited tables at TGI Fridays and other various restaurants. She also worked as a house painter, a hostess, and a bartender. All these colorful experiences in her childhood and early life would help shape her comedic flair, as she would often use many of her real-life experiences as material for her acts. How then did she rise to stardom, and why has she fled away after Diddy's list was revealed? Keep watching to find out. Ellen's rise to fame. Ellen DeGeneres started out in small clubs and coffee houses doing stand-up comedy. By 1981, she was the MC at Clyde's Comedy Club in New Orleans, where she honed her comedic skills. It was also around this time that DeGeneres was inspired by such comedians as Woody Allen and Steve Martin. She began traveling the country in the early 80s, and in 1984 was named Showtime's funniest person in America. DeGeneres herself lists legends like Lucille Ball, Carol Burnett, and Bob Newhart as some of her biggest comedic inspirations. After taking a 15-year break from stand-up comedy, Ellen made a triumphant return in 2018 with a Netflix special titled Relatable. She then put out another one, For Your Approval, in September 2024 on Netflix. In addition to her stand-up career, DeGeneres appeared in various projects throughout the late 1980s, early 1990s. One notable project was the film Coneheads. She was also in a series of movies for Ellen's Energy Adventure, which was an attraction in the universe of energy at Epcot in Walt Disney World. This show featured notable personalities like Bill Nye, Alex Trebek, Michael Richards, and Jamie Lee Curtis. The narrative followed DeGeneres as she fell asleep and found herself in a Jeopardy, a game focused on energy, competing against an old rival played by Curtis and the legendary Albert Einstein. Initially named Ellen's Energy Crisis, The attraction was quickly rebranded to the more positively phrased Ellen's Energy Adventure when it opened on September 15, 1996. Sadly, it was permanently shut down on August 13, 2017. DeGeneres is best known for her voice work in the 2003 animated Disney and Pixar film Finding Nemo as Dory, a forgetful fish with the inability to retain short-term memory. The film's director, Andrew Stanton, chose Ellen for the role because of her tendency to change subjects frequently within a single sentence during her talk show. Her portrayal of Dory earned her several accolades, including the Saturn Award for Best Supporting Actress from the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy Horror Films, the Favorite Voice from an Animated Movie Award at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, and the Annie Award for Outstanding Voice Acting from the International Animated Film Association. Additionally, she received a nomination for Best Supporting Actress from the Chicago Film Critics Association. Notably, her win of the Saturn Award marked a milestone, as it was the first time this award recognized a voice performance. Ellen reprised her role as Dory in the sequel, Finding Dory, released in 2016, further cementing her place in animation history. How then did she kickstart her TV career that made her a big name? Stay tuned for the details. Beginning of Ellen DeGeneres' TV career. Ellen DeGeneres got her start in television in a regular role on a Fox sitcom called Open House that only lasted a short time, but it was a spin-off of Duet. She played Margot Van Meter, a receptionist for the Juan Verde real estate firm in this sitcom. Also starred Allison LaPlaca and Mary Page Keller in the series. Following this, in 1992, DeGeneres was cast by producers Neil Marlins and Carol Black in another sitcom called Laurie Hill, where she played nurse Nancy McIntyre. Unfortunately, Laurie Hill was canceled after just 4 episodes, but Marlins and Black soon swooped her up again for their next project, an ABC pilot called These Friends of Mine, which later became Ned and Stacy, co-created with David S. Rosenthal. The show These Friends of Mine was inspired by Ellen's comedic career and was rebranded as Ellen after its first season. The sitcom gained popularity, particularly in its early seasons, largely due to DeGeneres' signature observational humor, leading many to refer to it as a female Seinfeld. In April 1997, Ellen reached a pivotal moment when DeGeneres publicly came out with her sexuality during an appearance on The Oprah Winfrey Show. Well, this scene was on the show where her character also came out to her therapist, who happened to be Oprah. The episode, titled The Puppy Episode, became one of the highest rated of the series. While the show returned for a 5th season, it faced declining ratings and was ultimately canceled. After some time away from sitcoms, DeGeneres returned to television in 2001 with a new CBS sitcom called The Ellen Show. It only lasted for 13 episodes, though, before it got canceled. In 2007, a former writer claimed that DeGeneres had a difficult demeanor, stating she treated the writers poorly and often criticized their jokes as unfunny. Despite these challenges with her sitcoms, DeGeneres would go on to re-establish herself successfully as a talk show host. In September 2003, DeGeneres launched The Ellen DeGeneres Show, a daytime television talk show. At the time, several celebrity-hosted talk shows were debuting, including those by Sharon Osbourne and Rita Rudner. DeGeneres' show soon shot up in the Nielsen ratings and received rave reviews. Its inaugural season, it garnered 12 Daytime Emmy Award nominations and won 4, including Best Talk Show. The first 3 seasons of the show won a combined total of 25 Emmy Awards. DeGeneres gained a reputation for her lively persona and would dance with the audience at the start of every show and even in between commercials. She also always gave away prizes and vacations to members of the audience, courtesy of her sponsors. Eventually, DeGeneres noted that she decided to stop dancing because it had become an expectation and felt burdensome. One of her most notable acts of kindness occurred in February 2006, when Ellen celebrated her 30-year high school reunion and flew her graduating class to California to be on her show. She then surprised Atlanta High School with a new electronic LED marquee sign. She also appeared at Tulane University's graduation in New Orleans in May 2006 as a surprise speaker following George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton to the podium. Dressed in a bathrobe and fuzzy slippers, she humorously commented, "They told me everyone would be wearing robes." DeGeneres came back to speak at Tulane's graduation in 2009. How did she come about her famous Ellen DeGeneres show? How successful was it? Let's find out. Ellen's continued TV success. In March 2007, The Ellen DeGeneres Show broadcasted from Universal Studios Orlando, featuring skits that included DeGeneres experiencing the Hulk roller coaster and the Jaws boat ride. However, in May 2007, she faced a personal challenge when she was placed on bed rest due to a torn ligament in her back. Despite this, she continued to host her show from a hospital bed, with guests sitting in hospital beds alongside her. On May 1, 2009, DeGeneres celebrated her 1,000th episode with celebrity guests like Oprah Winfrey, Justin Timberlake, and Paris Hilton. Later, in December 2015, she was surprised by Jennifer Aniston and Justin Timberlake during her 2000th episode. In early 2010, DeGeneres joined the judging panel of American Idol, replacing Paula Abdul. She began her role during Hollywood Week after the contestant auditions had taken place and was initially contracted to serve as a judge for at least 5 seasons. However, on July 29, 2010, DeGeneres announced her departure from the show after just 1 season, explaining that the series didn't feel like the right fit for me. DeGeneres also began hosting a game show called Ellen's Game of Games during the 2017 to 2018 television season. This show was based on games that had previously been featured on her talk show, and it premiered on December 18, 2017, with regular episodes starting in January 2018. The series continued for 4 seasons, concluding in May 2021 with its cancellation announced in January 2022. On September 4, 2018, TCL announced its extension as the official TV of The Ellen DeGeneres Show for a 5th consecutive season. In 2018, the New York Times published a profile on DeGeneres, highlighting her considerations about renewing her talk show contract and exploring other creative avenues, including her Netflix special Relatable, which humorously addressed her public persona. The article noted her feelings of being boxed in by her reputation for always being nice and the expectation to maintain her upbeat image. DeGeneres, who acknowledged her sensitivity, expressed concerns about how her audience would react if she no longer wanted to dance during her shows. Her upbringing in the Christian Scientist faith contributed to her awareness of emotional sensitivities, particularly in relation to her father, who was described as fearful and unable to engage with unpleasantness. On May 12, 2021, DeGeneres announced that she would be concluding The Ellen DeGeneres Show after its 19th season in 2022. The final episode aired on May 26, 2022, featuring guest appearances by celebrities such as Jennifer Aniston, Pink, and Billie Eilish, while her wife, Portia de Rossi, and other family members were present in the audience. How successful is Ellen DeGeneres? Is it a testament of Ellen's career? Let's dive in. Ellen's massive wealth and income. In 2020, Forbes estimated that Ellen DeGeneres earned around $84 million, bringing her total net worth to approximately $370 million. This impressive financial status placed her as the 12th highest-paid entertainer in the world at that time. In recognition of her influence and success, Forbes named her the 50th most powerful woman globally in 2015. Additionally, she ranked second on the World Pride Power list, highlighting her impact within the LGBTQ+ community. As of August 2, 2018, DeGeneres had a significant social media presence, boasting over 76 million followers on Twitter and 55.8 million on Instagram. This made her the 10th most followed individual on Twitter and the 29th on Instagram. However, by November 2023, Ellen DeGeneres' Twitter following had decreased to 75 million, dropping her to 14th place on the platform now known as X. On the other hand, Her Instagram following had increased dramatically to 139 million over the past 5 years, though she had slipped to 32nd in terms of follower rankings. In addition to her successful career, DeGeneres is also an avid fan of the National Football League, NFL, although she doesn't align herself with a single team. She has expressed her support for both the New Orleans Saints and the Green Bay Packers. Notably, in 2011, she made headlines by attending a Saints practice dressed as Packers Hall of Famer Don Hutson, showcasing her playful and lighthearted approach to her fandom. Now let's take a look at her personal life before we get into her relationship with Diddy. Ellen DeGeneres' personal life. In 1997, Ellen DeGeneres publicly came out as a lesbian, a moment that drew significant media attention and interest from American tabloids. This revelation led to a wave of scrutiny and sometimes harsh criticism, which had a negative impact on her career and plunged her into a period of deep depression. In her book Love, Ellen, her mother, Betty DeGeneres, recounts her initial shock upon learning of Ellen's orientation, but notes that she has since become one of Ellen's most devoted supporters. Betty is now an active member of PFLAG, Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, and serves as a spokesperson for the Human Rights Campaign's Coming Out Project, advocating for LGBTQ+ rights. In the same year that she came out, DeGeneres began dating actress Anne Heche. Their relationship lasted until August 2000. After parting ways with Heche from 2000 to 2004, DeGeneres was involved with photographer Alexandra Hedison. The two made headlines when they appeared on the cover of The Advocate, a prominent LGBTQ+ magazine, shortly after their split was publicly announced. Since 2004, DeGeneres has been in a relationship with actress Portia de Rossi. After California lifted its ban on same-gender marriage, DeGeneres and de Rossi got engaged and were married in August 2008 at their home in Beverly Hills, California. They share their lives with 4 dogs and 3 cats. Although the passage of Proposition 8 raised questions about the legality of their marriage, a ruling by the California Supreme Court later affirmed its validity since it took place before the proposition was enacted on November 4, 2008. On August 6, 2010, Portia de Rossi filed a petition to legally change her name to Portia Lee James DeGeneres, a request that was approved on September 23, 2010. This change reflects their strong bond and commitment to each other, further solidifying their life together. Now, what controversy is she involved in with Diddy? Keep watching as we get into the details. Ellen DeGeneres' appearance on Sean Diddy's shocking list. It all started with the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, the mogul music executive of Bad Boy Records. His name has been associated with numerous very serious charges ranging from racketeering to running a criminal enterprise. However, things escalated further when a list purportedly naming high-profile individuals connected to his alleged illegal activities began circulating on social media. This sparked intense interest and speculation, putting celebrities and powerful figures under scrutiny. In September of 2024, Diddy was indicted on major charges of organized crime. Soon after, the rumored list started to gain traction on social media platforms like Twitter and TikTok, where users debated its authenticity. The so-called Diddy's List quickly became a hot topic, with many speculating about the identities of those involved. Well, at least an official release of the list has not been made, but that has not stopped rumors from flying. Many names from various sectors of the entertainment industry, including actors, musicians, and television hosts, were mentioned, often based solely on their previous associations with Diddy. One of the main celebrities that has been swept into this whirlwind of controversy is Ellen DeGeneres. Her place on the list seems to be more speculation than actual fact, but her friendship with Diddy has always drawn speculation over the years. Diddy has been a guest on The Ellen DeGeneres Show multiple times, and their interactions were often lighthearted and humorous. For instance, during one appearance, Ellen playfully remarked, "I don't see any proof of surfing, I just see you standing there acting like you've surfed." But with the nature of Diddy's alleged crimes, Even those seemingly innocent moments are seen in a more ominous light. While Ellen has not publicly addressed the matter, her name continues to surface in discussions about Diddy's case, leading some internet users to suggest that she might know more than she has disclosed. The emergence of the rumored list has sent shockwaves throughout the entertainment world. His arrest and the ensuing circulation of the list have created a sense of panic among celebrities who have had close ties to him. Many are now taking steps to distance themselves from Diddy, hastily deleting photos, tweets, and other forms of evidence that might suggest a connection. As the investigation into Diddy's alleged activities intensifies, the ripple effects are becoming evident across Hollywood. Stars who once proudly identified with him are now facing scrutiny. This raises an intriguing question. Is this the beginning of a bigger expose among the upper echelon of Hollywood? Speaking of that list, which is rumored, that could just be the tip of the iceberg. Not that the legal ramifications for big stars like Ellen are that serious yet, but the investigation is ongoing, and it can always take a turn where people that are close to Diddy get charged with things, with the kind of evidence pops up. How deep does this scandal truly run? Is there more to Ellen's relationship with Diddy than meets the eye? Keep watching for the full story. Ellen DeGeneres. Friendship with Diddy under scrutiny. Ellen DeGeneres and Sean Diddy Combs have been friends for years. But some things that have happened lately have really put that friendship to the test. Diddy has been on the Ellen DeGeneres show quite a few times over the years, and their little encounters have always been lighthearted and funny. However, in light of Diddy's legal troubles, those past moments are now being viewed through a much more critical lens. One particular incident that has gained significant public attention is a birthday tweet Ellen posted for Diddy back in 2016, in which she affectionately called him Cuddle MC Snuggle Stuff. At the time, this was taken as just another of Ellen's quirky and playful nicknames, but with the recent, very serious accusations against Diddy, that harmless joking is starting to feel a little ominous. Social media erupted with reactions to Ellen's tweet, with many users expressing discomfort. One notable instance occurred in 2018, when Ellen jokingly reprimanded him for being late to her gatherings. But now that it is on the internet, people are making connections between Diddy's notorious parties and Ellen's Hollywood parties. This has led to speculation that Ellen might have had a closer involvement in these elite gatherings than she has openly admitted. Given the current situation, it's not surprising that Ellen has chosen to remain silent regarding Diddy's legal issues, especially as the nickname she gave him has taken on a more troubling meaning. Fans and web users alike have been quick to comment on how ominous the nickname has become with the seriousness of Diddy's charges. Ellen is no stranger to controversy herself, particularly after facing accusations about creating a toxic work environment on her show. But this latest layer of scandal adds another dimension to the challenges surrounding her public persona. Now that old clips and tweets of Ellen and Diddy have resurfaced, many are wondering if these instances actually say more about their relationship than anyone ever knew. As the scrutiny intensifies, it raises important questions about the depth of their friendship and whether Ellen had insights into Diddy's behavior that she has yet to disclose. What are some other links between Diddy and Ellen DeGeneres? Do they have similarities, and do they have the same agenda? Keep watching to find out. Ellen S infamous Hollywood parties. For years, Ellen DeGeneres' Hollywood parties have been known to be the most glamorous, most exclusive parties in Hollywood, with the who's who of Hollywood in attendance. These parties were star-studded, as Diddy Combs, Sean Diddy Combs, would sometimes attend these parties. Ellen frequently joked on her show about Diddy's habit of arriving late to her parties, playfully implying that the fun truly began once he made his entrance. It all seemed so harmless and funny back then. But with what has recently come up about Diddy's legal problems, it has made these statements seem kind of suspicious. All the reports and chatter on the internets point towards Ellen's parties being a little more than just hanging out with friends. While there is no direct evidence to suggest any wrongdoing occurred at her parties, conspiracy theories have begun to emerge. raising eyebrows and prompting speculation about what really goes on behind the scenes at these high-profile Hollywood events. All of these conspiracy theories and stuff have been going around the internet about the inner workings of Hollywood's in crowd, especially someone like Ellen who throws these huge parties. Some theorize that these parties could be nothing more than a front for illicit behavior, masked by the veneer of celebration and networking. The mere association with someone like Diddy, who is currently embroiled in serious accusations, has only intensified the scrutiny around Ellen's parties. That brings up the very important issue of what has Ellen's part in these parties been? Could her role extend beyond that of a mere host? Is it possible that she may have been more aware of the dynamics at play than she has let on? Furthermore, as the investigation into Diddy's alleged activities unfolds, there may be legal implications for Ellen as well. What has been the impact of this scandal on Ellen? Let's find out the impact of these accusations on Ellen. Ellen DeGeneres, who at one time seemed untouchable, fell from grace in 2020 after allegations of a toxic workplace on The Ellen DeGeneres Show. These allegations led to a huge PR mess and loss of viewers and ratings. Ellen then came on her show to respond to the allegations and apologized and promised to do better. However, the damage to her image was already substantial, and now that her friendship with Diddy is being questioned, Ellen's name is at risk of even more degradation. Social media has not been very kind to her in the last few months. With increased scrutiny being the way it is today, public figures have to be very cautious of who they affiliate themselves with, and Ellen's lack of comment on the whole Diddy thing is kind of suspicious. The polls show that since that controversy over the workplace, Ellen's likability factor has dropped considerably. The connection to Diddy could worsen this situation, as many former fans expressed disappointment in her lack of response regarding her friendship with him amid his legal troubles. People on Twitter and Instagram have been bashing Ellen for not saying anything about this, and many believe that she is just trying to completely blow it off, which in turn makes everyone think that she has something to hide. Now, this dilemma is a big problem because Ellen is trying to jumpstart her career after her talk show ended in 2022. Although she has been trying to rebrand herself, including through a Netflix stand-up special, the momentum she is trying to build may be hindered by her association with Diddy. The longer that time goes by without an answer, the more the public will assume and make conclusions about her character. What then has been Ellen's reaction to the whole saga? Keep watching to find out. Ellen's reaction: FBI confirms Ellen DeGeneres fled the country. After Diddy's list was revealed, Ellen DeGeneres has plenty of ways to disassociate herself from the controversy that is growing about her connection with Diddy. One effective approach would be for her to issue a public statement that clarifies her relationship with Diddy and explicitly denounces any illegal activities he may be involved in. That kind of preemptive action would go a long way in regaining some of her lost trust with her audience. Also, Ellen would probably be a little more choosy about her public appearances and endorsements, and would probably try to not associate herself with any really controversial figures in the future. But, according to the experts, if Ellen moves quick enough and takes some decisive action, she can probably stop any more damage to her career. However, if she waits too long, people will talk and the word will spread, and what started out as a simple rumor could blow into a great big deal. And it will be harder and harder for her to recover from that and regain her good standing. The question is, will Ellen be able to recover from this latest scandal? Some stars have been able to bounce back from huge scandals and regain the approval of the public, but others have not. For example, Tiger Woods managed to rehabilitate his image after his own public fall from grace, while Lance Armstrong struggled to regain trust and never fully recovered from his scandals. It will all depend on how Ellen handles the next few months, and if she can convince everyone that she is still an innocent woman. So the real question is, will this controversy be the end of her career, or will she still have a chance to repair her image and get back into the good graces of the entertainment world? The choices she makes next will be very important. They will decide her future. and whether or not she can surpass the obstacles that are in her way at the moment. As Diddy's case unfolds, with the FBI threatening to release footage and list Ellen DeGeneres as well, many top industry stars are scared, with some having to flee the country. What do you think about Ellen DeGeneres fleeing in the midst of all these? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching this video. We hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video shown on your screen to catch up on your favorite celebrity stories. See you there.